Hi everyone, and welcome to this short balanced vinyasa flow class. If you haven't practiced with me before, I'm Rosie. It's really lovely to have you on the channel. There are a plethora of classes all over the place, but I hope this is one that you can come back to. We're going to be working on balancing today. So not only balancing throughout the body, but balancing through the breath. So we're going to get started with some pranayama, with some breath work. So when you're ready, just coming to find a comfortable seat, and it might be that if cross-legged isn't particularly comfortable for you, that maybe you choose to kneel or to sit up on a bolster or a cushion as we get started. So as we settle, as we find that place that feels comfortable for us, we're going to be here for a few minutes. So just finding somewhere that feels comfy, allowing yourself to have a wiggle to find where that is. If you're at the start of your yoga practice and you haven't practiced much before, it might be that you try a few different things before you really work out where that place is for you. So always just be open to trying new positions. And when we're ready, just pausing, closing down through the eyes, and taking that attention towards the breath. So it might be that you've got the hands on the knees, maybe grounding down, palms facing down, or you might choose to take hands onto the chest or onto the belly. So just allowing yourself to be that little bit more in tune with that breath as we breathe here. Just noticing how that breath feels today. So being aware not of how the breath might have felt yesterday, not how it might feel tomorrow, just how it feels in this very moment. And as we breathe here, just settling through the position you've found. So you might imagine that you've almost got a piece of thread moving up through the spine of the body and out through the crown of the head, and it's just pulling you that little bit, so it's making the spine straight. And it might be here that you actually just play with rocking forwards and backwards, so seeing if you can find that spot that feels like neutral for the spine. And just starting by taking a nice releasing breath, so breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. So we're going to take Nadi Shodhana now, which is our balancing breath. Kind of purifies through the airways. So if you haven't taken it before, you might want to open your eyes now just to take a look. So you're going to take your right hand, and the aim is to be able to breathe through one side of the nose and out through the other side. So you want to be able to block both nostrils. So the easiest way for me to do that is normally to take my index finger and my middle finger towards my third eye, so in between my eyebrows. And then we use the thumb and the fourth finger to block the nostrils. So the thumb will block the right nostril, the fourth finger will block the left. So my aim here in teaching you when we're breathing, I'm going to count my breaths as we go. I'm going to inhale for 3 and exhale for 3. If that feels like it's too much or it feels like it's not natural with your breath, just allowing yourself to kind of get used to the rhythm of blocking one nostril and taking away the other, and then seeing if you can do it at your own speed or in the time of your own breath. So taking those to the third eye. We're just going to block through the left nostril, inhale through the right. So inhale, 1, 2, 3. We're going to block the right nostril with the thumb, exhale through the left, 1, 2, 3. And then we inhale from the left, 1, 2, 3. Block the left nostril, exhale right, 1, 2, 3. Inhale right, 1, 2, 3. Block the right side, exhale left. 1, 2, 3. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3. Block left, exhale right. 1, 2, 3. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3. Block right, exhale left. 1, 2, 3. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, releasing the hand, breathing in, exhaling out through the mouth, and then just starting to gently flutter open those eyes, taking any wiggles that you might need. So that's a breath that you can really come back to. It's one that you don't necessarily need to count for, so you can really kind of tune in with your breathing and just block the nostrils as you feel ready with the speed of your own breath. But it's one that's kind of really beautiful to get used to. So from here, just coming to move into a side stretch. So we're just going to inhale and reach those arms up above the head. And we're going to take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. So right hand takes hold of the left wrist and just take a stretch over towards the right. So just starting to open up, taking that gaze up towards the hands, feeling that opening through the left-hand side of the body. Inhale, just drawing back up through center, switching over those hands and then taking that stretch over towards the left. This time, right side of the body opening. Just stretching, waking up. Inhale, coming back through center. We're going to move into a forward fold. So from here, remaining cross-legged if that's where you are. Coming into cross-legged if you were seated in a different position. And again, inhale, drawing those arms up. As we exhale, actually just drawing them down through heart center, so palms pushing together, Anjali Mudra, and then taking those hands down through the body towards the mat and just starting to roll forwards. So it might be that that forward fold just kind of stays here. You're up on the hands, up on the fingertips. It might be that you're coming all the way down, maybe releasing the head towards the arms. Just coming to wherever is comfortable for you. So we're finding kind of that sweet spot. We don't want to take it too far. And just starting to notice the body in this forward fold. So we've kind of taken that attention to the breath already. So now just noticing how the body's feeling. So you might particularly notice it through the legs, through the glutes. Just being aware and staying with that breath. And then we're going to ever so gently start to just roll ourselves forwards, taking the hands down, taking the knees hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart, just coming into a tabletop. And from here, again, just gentle movements. So as we inhale, starting to lift through the chest, taking the gaze forwards. As we exhale, rounding through the back, so creating this kind of doming shape, allowing the head to hang heavy. So just moving through this cat-cow. Again, working at the speed of your breaths. You might be going faster than me, slower than me. Just being aware of what works for you. And then maybe you stay with this cat-cow, or maybe this breath starts to become that little bit more intuitive and you start to take some wiggles. So maybe you're taking circles with the body, moving round, moving through the head, through the neck. Maybe you decide to tuck the toes under and just push back, so pushing down through the hands, getting a nice stretch out through the feet. Maybe you take hands to either side, fingertips maybe towards you, stretch out through the forearms. So this is really our time in our practice to just allow ourselves to be that little bit more intuitive. So it's not about how this looks, it's really about how it feels. And on different days, you might need to move in different ways. It might be that today for you, what you really need is to just drop back into a child's pose and extend the fingertips out. So it's a couple of breaths here, that little bit of time to just check in with what your body needs. Really ask yourself that question and then answer through the movements. So a few more seconds here. And then we're going to start to play into this idea of balance. So when you're ready, just coming back to neutral. And we're just going to start by taking this right arm forwards. So we're just reaching out through the fingertips. Just staying with that breath here. Taking gaze towards the hands and just noticing the body already starting to engage just with that one hand off the mat. And then it might be that you decide to lift off that left leg and take the left foot back, and maybe you point through the toes or flex through the foot, whichever you choose to do. So just noticing how much that body is already starting to engage with that idea of balance. Taking just one more inhale here. Exhale, releasing both back down. And then taking the other side. So starting off, pushing down through that right hand. Inhale, just lifting that left arm forwards, reaching. Again, coming back to that idea of thread, almost as if you've got thread moving through the body, pushing and pulling. And then maybe you take that right leg back as well. So it's almost as if the foot is pulling you back and the arm is pulling you forwards, and you're finding that position, that neutral position in the middle, coming towards that balance. One more inhale here. Exhale, gently release, taking that knee back down, and then coming to start to tuck under the toes. You're going to lift off through the knees, draw the hips back, up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. So first one of the practice, might be first one of the day. So taking just a big pedal out through the feet, moving. It might be that you choose to come up onto the toes on the inhale, and exhale, just draw those heels back down. They don't have to reach the mat, it's just an idea of where they're going. So stretching out through the hamstrings. And then as we inhale, we're just going to draw the right leg up towards the sky. Keeping everything square to start off with, and then taking a bend through that right knee and seeing if we can just open out. So we're opening out through the hip, seeing if the shoulders can stay where they are. So we don't want to be opening through the upper body, just through the hip. Taking a big inhale here. Exhale, we're going to draw this right foot forwards in between the hands, ground the back foot. Inhale and draw up, coming into our warrior one. So we want to plant down into the mat. We're pushing down through that right foot, lifting up through the hands. Inhale here. And as we exhale, just pivoting onto the back toes and releasing those hands down. So we're coming into a high lunge. And as we inhale, pulling up again. So rising up through the hands, rooting down through the feet. And then as we exhale, drawing hands together, so Anjali Mudra, and we're going to see if we can kick off onto that right foot and come into a warrior three. So again, finding that balance, seeing if we can keep the hips square towards the floor. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Next, inhale, pushing down through that right foot. You might take a slight bend through the right knee. Inhale, drawing left knee up towards the chest. Finding again that balance and saying if we can rotate that left knee out towards the side, and maybe that left foot comes towards the thigh or the calf, coming into our tree, Vrikshasana. It might be that hands stay at heart center. Maybe you take them up towards the sky. Just staying with that breath there. Taking a big inhale. Exhale, hands coming down through heart center again. You might use the hands to help you take that foot and just draw that knee back in towards the chest. And then we're going to come back towards that warrior three. So we're extending that left leg out. Body parallel towards the floor. Taking a big inhale here. Exhale, bend through that right knee. Take the left foot down, draw the arms up, coming into this high lunge, reaching the arms long. Exhale, dropping back knee, untucking back toes, hands down through heart center, coming into this low lunge. So we want to have a bit of a right angle here between the knee and the ankle. Palms pushed together, we lift up through the body, so we're keeping that control, keeping everything switched on. We inhale, find that length. Exhale, starting to just drop down. So just deepening that lunge slightly. Option to just pause here, maybe to rest the hands onto the right knee, or if you'd like to, you can actually just draw that left foot up towards the glutes and maybe the hand reaches the ankle and you just gently tug towards you. Staying with that breath. And then gently releasing that back foot down. Taking hands down to frame the foot, tucking under back toes, lifting off the back knee. Right foot comes back to join you, and we're just going to take it straight back to a downward facing dog. Let's take a nice pedal out through the feet. And then we find that other side. So this time, right foot is grounded down as we inhale, left leg sweeps up behind us. Again, square hip to start off with. And then we take that bend through the knee, open out through the hip, seeing if we can keep the shoulders where they are. Taking an inhale here. As we exhale, left foot stepping forward in between the hands, we ground the back foot. Inhale, draw up, warrior one. Bring those arms up towards the sky. Breathing here. We take a big inhale. As we exhale, just taking the arms down, pivoting onto the back toes. We're coming into this high lunge variation, and then we inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Take an inhale here. On the exhale, stepping forwards, right leg extends behind us, coming into a warrior three. So body parallel towards the mat. I'm really feeling into the balance here. So focusing that drishti, that gaze on something that isn't moving, can really help with the balance. Taking an inhale. As we exhale, taking a slight bend through that left leg is going to help. Bending through the right knee, drawing right knee up in towards the chest. And then taking that leg out towards the side and taking the foot to either the thigh or the calf, maybe the ankle. Might use the hands to help you, calming into Vrikshasana, tree pose. Pausing here, either palms together or maybe arms up towards the sky, your choice. And really rooting down through that left foot. So left foot is pushing down towards the floor. The right foot here is pushing in towards that left leg. So there's always this kind of push-pull motion that's keeping that body in balance. Inhaling here. As we exhale, maybe you use those hands to help you. So just removing the foot from the leg, drawing knee back in towards the chest. Inhale here. As we exhale, we come back into that warrior three, taking the right leg out behind us, either pointing through the toes or flexing through the foot. Taking a big inhale. As we exhale, bend through that left knee, taking right toes back towards the mat. Inhale, drawing arms up, finding that high lunge. Breathing in here. Exhale, dropping the right back knee, untucking right back toes. Hands come down through heart center, low lunge. So again, focusing on finding that right angle between the knee and the ankle. And you can pause here, so you might inhale, find that length. Exhale, just start to drop forward slightly more, so we're just deepening slightly. And then you might rest the hands, maybe in an interlace on the knee, or it might be that you decide to kick that right foot up towards the glute, and maybe you take a gentle hold of that ankle, just gently pulling that foot in towards you, keeping that gaze forwards. Inhale here. Exhale, gently releasing that foot if you still got it behind you. Hands come down to frame the front foot, tucking under back toes. Left foot steps back to join right. And we're just going to drop the knees and come back into kneeling. As we arrive here, just taking a big roll through the shoulders. So inhale, drawing shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, allowing them to roll down. So shoulder blades moving down the back. Again, finding that kind of lift. Coming back to that idea of the thread, just pulling the body up that little bit more. And then we're going to take the hands down towards the mat. And we're going to reach them all the way in front and see if we can just roll the body down. So we're coming down towards the belly. And we're going to start to wind down through an open angel. So just taking the left hand out towards the side of the mat. It can be a cactus or the left arm can be long. And we're going to use the right hand to roll us over. So we're rolling onto the left-hand side of the body. Head comes down. You might take a pillow underneath the head for some supports. Right hand comes in front of the body to give you that support. We're just opening out here through the shoulders. You might choose to close down through the eyes. And this might be enough for you here. This might be enough of a stretch. If you feel like you want to take it that little bit deeper, you can pick up the right leg, take a bend through the knee, and just take that right foot behind you. It might be that you come onto the toes, or maybe you come onto the sole of the foot. But just pausing here with that breath. Opening out through the chest, opening out through the leg. If you want to take it that little bit deeper again, you might just take the right hand behind you, just draping it behind the back. And pausing here. Taking one more inhale. As we exhale, gently unraveling. So if you have the hand behind you, drawing it back. The leg is behind, drawing it back on top. And then slowly rolling back towards the belly. Might take a wiggle out through the left fingertips. And then coming to find the other side. So the right hand comes out this time, either cactus or into a T. Using the left hand to roll you onto the right side. Releasing the head. Left hand comes in front of the belly for that support. Just closing down through the eyes. Again, options if you want to deepen, to just take that left leg up, take a bend through the knee, and take the toes down behind you, or the foot. And maybe that left hand picks up and drapes behind the back as well. Just one more inhale here. Exhale. Just taking the arm back in front first. Releasing the leg back and then slowly rolling back onto the belly. And from here, option to just keep those eyes closed for the rest of practice. We're just going to roll over directly onto the back. And draw those knees in towards the chest. So noticing that lower back grounding. So lumbar spine down towards the mat. You might take a few rocks from side to side here. And we'll just start to finish off practice by coming into these supine twists. So again, we're neutralizing out through that spine. So just taking the hands out into T or into cactus and dropping those knees over towards the left. Seeing if you can keep the right shoulder grounded towards the floor. So if the right shoulder is peeling off from the mat, you might just choose to take the knees slightly further down. Give yourself some space. And then it might be that you take the head over towards the right. So as we breathe here, seeing if we can imagine that air, that energy or prana moving through the body. So coming in through the crown of the head, moving down through the spine, out to the outermost edges of the body, so fingertips, toes. Taking just one more breath here. As you exhale, just drawing those knees back in towards the chest, taking head back through center and then moving over to the other side. So this time legs coming over to the right, taking head over to the left, and saying if you can keep that left shoulder grounded. So again, just allowing the body to sink down here, almost as if it's melting towards the earth. Just winding down. Taking another breath in, and then slowly moving head back through center, drawing knees in towards the chest again. And you might take just a rock here from side to side, maybe arms around the knees. And then taking hands up into the sky, taking legs as well. And just taking movement through the ankles, stretching through fingertips, through the toes. So really just feeling the body here. Stretching out and then slowly drawing the legs down, using hands to help you. And you can keep the eyes closed here, just drawing up towards seated again, coming back into a cross-legged position. And taking hands towards the belly and towards the heart. And just coming back in towards that breath and noticing the breath. And maybe it feels a little bit different from when we started practice. So maybe there's that little bit more balance. So just focusing on that idea of balance. Does everything feel that little bit more in tune? You can drop chin down towards the chest, just releasing the head. Just taking a moment for gratitude here. So we thank ourselves for finding the time to practice, finding the time to come to the mat. And then we also thank our amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. So just sealing our practice, breathing in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Gently releasing those hands down towards the lap, fluttering open eyes and just coming back to the space, back to the room. So taking your time as you come out of practice here, taking any wiggles that you might need. Thank you all so much for practicing today. If you haven't already, please give the video a like if you enjoyed the class and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the week.